All right. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. This is the pre-launch workshop. This is the first of three workshops on the bestseller book launch sequence. Now, I'm really excited to share this with you because I know, particularly Jean and Paige, this is very timely that we're doing it right now, given that you've got upcoming launches. And so I'll give you a little bit of framework, a bit of an overview of how this session will go and how the next sessions in coming weeks, because of course we're running sessions like this on the next Wednesday or Tuesday night for you, Paige, and the following one. So we've got two more after this. Um, the whole purpose of this workshop series is to give you the framework and the foundational pieces to put together a really unique and potent launch that suits your book, suits your message, suits you, and suits your business. Okay. I think sometimes in sessions like this, certainly in other groups that I've been in, the big daddy-o walks in with the strategies and is like, this is how you do it. And then you try and fit yourself into a box. That is not what we're here to do. What I'm here to do is give you some signposts, some anchor points so that you can conceptually understand the launch in your own mind and understand the stages that it moves through. And then, not only that, but to be able to apply the ideas and the strategies that we're about to share with you in your own unique way. Right. So, what this session and this series asks of you is to be really discerning in the application of what we're about to teach. So if you're okay with bringing that to the table, being discerning, can I just get a double thumbs up if you're in for that? Thank you, thank you. The other thing that I'd really like to get your agreement on as we kick off is, and welcome to Carmel. No worries that you're off camera. Good to have you. And I think Carter has sent his AI. He has delegated the task of attendance to his AI. So that seems to be his note taker there. Um, Such is the world we live in. Um, where was I going with that? The other agreement that I'd like us all to get on board with at the outset here is some of these strategies, some of these ideas that I present to you possibly will make you squirm a little bit in the sense of, oh shit, do I really have to do that? Um, and I'll just say this. Some of the strategies you may not use them. They may not be applicable. But my encouragement would be if you're squirming to lean into that because there is most likely growth there. And leaning into that fear can then create, when you cross that bridge, it can actually create an expansion. Okay. And some of the steps that you may take in the launch that make you squirt, what is I believe it's Carl Jung says that the most gold is in the places we least want to go. So, is everyone okay with a bit of fearless leaning in towards things that make us squirm? Can I get a thumbs up if you're in for some of that? Love it. Awesome. Welcome, Carter. Carter has joined us in person along with his AI. Welcome to thank you for bringing the future to the now. All right. This session is going to be approximately 90 minutes. We're going to go through a lot of strategies. Davina and I, it's really great Davina's here too. She's done over 200 book launches, so much experience, has seen book launches in every single niche. And so Davina, we're going to bring you in for perspective, for insight, for intuition, and also for stories of what you've seen. Because I think the story application here is really valuable too. All right, let's let's do a bit of a warm up. Welcome, Lisa, as well. Great to have you with us. We're going to do a bit of a warm up. It's a game of word association. I'm going to throw you a word. Just please in the chat, just whatever comes up for you. We're just getting a few juices flowing and a little bit of interaction in the group. So the first word is planning. What comes up for you when you hear the word planning? Be really curious to know. I love it, says Jean. Beautiful. And if you know Jean's Millennium Grid shamanic way of planning life and business, this is absolutely the time for reflection, and we're moving into a time for planning. Lisa, not my strong point. Cool. Well, may this give you some ideas to have up your back pocket for when you wing it, then you have some, I don't know, what are those stars that the ninjas throw? Like they just have them stored in their pocket and they just go pew, pew, pew. May this give you some of that. Awesome. Focused direction, efficiency, potency. Ninja stars. Love it. Thank you, Carter. Thank you, Davina. Cool. Um, I'm going to throw another word here. Second round of the word association game. This time the word is foundation. If we're bringing in foundation, what does that look like? What does that feel like to you? Foundation. Authenticity. Cool. An authentic foundation. Yes, I think that's really important. Gene, planning and preparation and stability. Yeah, getting these steps that we're about to talk about, getting these right, getting them in place, I believe gives you on launch day the ability to beam at an even higher frequency, to broadcast to the world with even more light, to make an even bigger impact. Um, Instead of the contrast being you're on launch night and you're like, oh, we didn't plan that. What are we going to do about it? And then you got to do all the thinking on the night. Strength, stability, resilience, solid. Love that. Managing mind and emotions through the ride. Yes. So a lot of what we're doing now will give you that mental, physical, and emotional and spiritual stability for the launch. So keep that in mind. Um, Keep that in mind as we go through. No worries, Carter. This recording will go up afterwards for the last bit. Okay. And the final word of the word association game is anticipation. What comes up for you when you hear that word? Anticipation, tingles. Yes. This is great. This is the type of energy that we want to start. Yes, we're building a foundation. Yes, we're planning, but we also want to start to build those spidey tingles in the field around your work so that people can, oh, I can even feel it. So people can start to feel you. Excitement, surprise, delight. And yes, you know, the interesting bit, this is a bit of a segue, a bit of anecdotal IBW history, is that the some of the best book launches are the really attuned individuals, particularly the sexuality educators, the relationship educators who know about polarity and things like this, because they understand concepts of desire, anticipation, things like this. They know the structure of that dynamic, and so they know how to create it. And that is an equally applicable skill when it comes to launching a book, because you want to almost be teasing your readers of like, oh, this juicy something is coming. You know, we'll get into it more. Planning again is anticipation connected with planning and projection and vision. And I always get what I want. Yes, that's a great thing to anchor into this foundation. Um, who's in for anchoring in that belief? If I see things I like, I'm just going to name it and ask people if they want in. I get what I want when it comes to launching. Who's in for that? That's a ripper. Thank you for that one, Jeannie. Let's just, yeah, it's almost like thumbs in and oh, it's in the foundation. There we go. It's like when you're building a house and those people, they put their name in the concrete. It's there for all of time. Visualizing possible scenarios ahead of time. Yes. Turning the audience on is what I'm hearing. Yes. Okay. So we're going to do a quick check-in before we go into the strategies, or it's not really a check-in. It's more an opportunity for you to check in with yourself. Before we plan a launch, before we go through the strategies, I want you to take a moment now to visualize what the launch of your book is going to look like. Take yourself out to that moment in the future where it's live and capture as much detail, as much information as you possibly can. You don't have to know it all, but what are the aspects? What are you seeing? What's the vibration of the launch? What's the frequency of the launch? What's the feeling? Is there a celebration vibe? Is there a theme of bringing people together? Is it explosive and dynamic and potent? and a bit wild? Is it calm, heart-centered, supportive, caring, healing? What's the feel around the launch? And the reason why this is important is we're about to get into a strategy conversation, and we're about to tell lots of stories. Davina's going to come in, tell stories too. And if we can keep this emotional feeling present, then we can tailor the strategies to create that feeling. Because great events are great essentially for two reasons. One, the feeling is something people want to be part of. And two, the logistics support the feeling. And what we're about to cover is the logistics and the actual strategy. But let's start with the feeling. And the feeling that you create in your launch will be unique compared to other people in the group. So if you hear someone say, oh, mine's about celebration, like, I mean, that could be common among everyone, but don't think it has to be. And even if this, for the likes of Jean, this is, she's done multiple books, please don't presuppose that the vibe of a previous launch will be the exact same vibe of this launch. See this launch as a unique experience because there's a unique message in the book. So we're really asking you to dial into the specific attunement of what you're wanting to create at that launch. For some of you, you'll have a lot of words around this. And I've certainly done this exercise with, a corporate IT specialist. And he said, I would like it to be educational and fun. And that was it. I'm like, cool, well, that's something to work with. We might just get a share or two. I just want to hear what people are, just if you can keep it really short and just give me a snippet of what you're feeling for your launch. I'd love to just hear from you. Jeannie, have you got something you'd like to share with us?
So certainty,
Yep,
celebration, but it's certainty, celebration, and then hope for them.
I love it. Yeah, love it. I'm going to take that and I'm going to anchor that in my own. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. Carmel, do you want to share what you got there?
Yeah, no, I like this question. As for me, it's really embodying joy and life affirming. And I think for me, it's the closing out of a big life milestone, the actualization of a life stage, and just like that joy and celebration around that, which is why I think there's a real, like, whether it happened at a birthday or something, or whether I manufacture that feeling, that's kind of that for me. Because I think I'd want to engender that feeling for other people of crossing a threshold.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I was really just the hero's journey lit up for me when you were speaking. I was like, it's the coming home and it's the beginning of the new.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, however the logistics look for that.
Beautiful. And you see, these themes are really important to get clear on because then every decision about strategy, about even the messaging of the email sequences that go out, the level of emojis that are used, um, the frequency of communication, the choice of venue, the styling at the venue, the choice of food at the venue. This is, of course, if you do it in person. But even the background, if you're doing it online, like the visual set, all of these things can then be tailored to what Carmel's just said, to what Jean's just said, to what Carter's just said in the chat here, unifying together, hope for a new way, possibility and harmony globally. It's beautiful. So, this is because another reason why this is really important. I once had I, wa- I won't name names, but I once had the Darth Vader of the coaching industry give me a really good quote. Very, very sort of dark. A lot of questionable things about this particular person, but this one thing was quite good. And she said something along the lines of, and I think she was quoting someone else, but it said, uh, they might not remember what you said, but they will remember what you made them feel. And my wish is that you will leave people imprinted with the feelings of unity, togetherness, hope, possibility, harmony globally, with Carmel, the feeling of coming home. And the reason why this is important from a business perspective for each of us is that a lot of the work that we do is intangible. It's esoteric, it's transformation, it's magic, right? And so to have people either in person at a launch or on an online launch, you are demonstrating your magic. You are demonstrating the intangible, which if they have a convincer strategy, that means they need proof of the magic in order to be convinced, in order to buy, you are literally providing that to them. And then that's what solidifies their convincer strategy. They move into trust. We all know how important trust is in the modern economy. It is everything. And then they're able to move forward with you. So awesome, awesome, awesome. We've come in pretty hot. Let's have a bit of a stretch and a breath. Davina, is there anything you want to add before we move into some strategies and start to build this out? No? All right. Davina, please interrupt me if there's something burning for you to say in terms of stories. Yes. All right. Let's talk, team. Let's talk. Carter, do you have a piece there or question?
Yeah, apologies. I'm on an iPad, so I'm still trying to figure out my way around the tech. Yeah, I really love what you said about how they feel about it. Something else that I picked up in my corporate days was trying to engage as many senses as possible in a presentation. So so rather than just talking at them the whole time, as we might give them something to eat, we might get them to tell a story about, so if you got these benefits, what would you do with them? So they'd future project, we might get them to interact. So the idea was to try to engage all the senses, and that way they seem to remember it a lot more as well.
Love it. Love it, love it. Yeah, I've seen people dance. I've seen people make their audience sing. Any number of sensory engagements, like the sky really is the limit. Please don't limit yourself. Yeah, my creative mind goes crazy on the type of things that people could do. Putting people in an ice bath, or I don't know, something like that. Okay, let's go into some strategies. We're going to cover today, we're going to cover what's called the pre-launch. So there's 4 phases in the launch. Number 1 is the pre-pre. Number 2 is the pre-launch, then the launch, and then the post-launch. Now, where this 4-step framework comes from is a gentleman by the name of Jeff Walker, based out of Durango, Colorado. He is considered one of the granddaddies of internet marketing. I studied with him in Phoenix, Arizona in 2017. His philosophy is responsible for over $500 million, $500 billion worth of online sales. And I really like Jeff Walker's stuff for his integrity, his honesty, and also I'll just say I have taken his stuff and applied it to our people. So you're really getting a Dave Thompson IBW lens on Jeff Walker. And I just want to say that because I acknowledge his contribution to my understanding of how to launch books. Welcome, Kelly, as well. We're just getting into the strategies. Okay, pre-launch. What's all that about? Well, this is the moment where the pre-launch begins when you tell the world there's a book coming. And that can typically look like a post to the world. Can I just get a show of hands if you have already done a public notification your book is coming? Can I just get a quick show of hands? Kelly, yeah, I think most people have. Have you done one yet, Lisa? I'm not sure if you have. Yep, Carmel has. Andy has. No, Lisa, not yet. Cool. So what that can look like, and I'll just quickly bring this up on the chat, up on the screen. So inside the publish and launch members area, there's a bit of a template for how to do a pre-launch post. So if you haven't done it yet, you can certainly see this. You can see the photo here. These are actually jeans heart glasses. We were on this photos on Book Retreat in 2016 or 17. Essentially, the nature of a pre-launch is bringing the excitement and the notification, hey, guess what? I'm writing a book. And usually an announcement like that hits pretty big with your audience. For those that have already done an announcement post, what was the engagement like? Was it pretty solid? The very first one, it usually is. And the reason why it's important to make a post like this, a couple of reasons. Number one is it's a energetic stamp in the ground. This is happening. We're on our way. Now, you're not announcing the launch date yet at pre-launch. You're just saying it's coming. But you are putting an energetic stake in the ground. We are on our way. Okay. This is the first signpost. We talked about this strategy series being about signposts. This is the first one. In my opinion, this, Lisa did that in 2024 when I started the intensive. Yeah, cool. So that you understand the nature of that post, Lisa. And I do recall that. I remember there was like an excitement that you shared. It was like, I do remember you doing that one. It was a clear announcement. You want to be sharing excitement. You can see the template there, talking about it's for this type of person. My hope and my dream is this, this, and this. You can do that. You don't have to follow this prescriptively. And what you'll notice is that, and this goes for content across a launch, is that you can see the photo of me. Like that's a bit of an out there sort of photo. It's like a dude with a beard with heart glasses. Like that's a bit strange. That's going to pop in terms of the internet, right? Would I recommend a post with a picture? I would do a picture. Facebook actually says, Andy, that when I look, I don't know if have you guys all got business mode on your Facebook profiles? I would be doing that. Paige does. I would be turning that on. The reason why is when you do a post, you can actually then, let's say 12 hours later, go back and click on the insights from that post, and it'll tell you the demographics, the age, the number of people viewing it. And Andy, when I've gone into that recently, it's been saying things to me like, I did a written post. It's like, we suggest you add a picture to increase the results of this post. I think pictures tend to hit a bit more. Is this making sense, team? As we're going through this, please feel free to put whatever you're receiving in the chat as a key idea. That way we can all share the learnings, and also so that I can understand what's landing for you. So that's the first one, is the pre-launch. Davina, any comments you want to make on that? Your head was in the side of that photo. I don't know. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see the sneaky Davina, like just sort of tiny bit popping her head in? That's the first piece. The next thing that you might want to do in the pre phase, you can do this pre or pre-launch. Yeah, pictures always create the curiosity for social media. The next thing you want to do is start to create what we call a venue for the launch. Now, if you're doing a physical in-person launch, the venue is quite self-explanatory. It is a place where people meet. It can be a cafe, a meeting room. Kelly Moody was telling us about the amazing venue she's just got for her launch down by the river. Like, it's a place. It's a physical place where people get together. Now, why is a venue important? Well, you are wanting a captive audience. You are wanting people's attention. When you have their attention, you can make an impact with them. You can influence them to transform. You can get your message across. Very important in a distracted world that we create a venue. And there's a lot of people here that will really understand this, so I'll go the level deeper. Is energetically, you want to hold that venue as a container. Think about it as an energetic container that people are walking into, right? And this is particularly important if it's online. It's like, if you are joining my group for the launch, you're stepping into a container. And we'll talk more about the ways you can do that online and the different levels you can go to. For example, you know, if you make people jump through 5 hoops, like register here, click this link, join this, share that, and then you'll get into the group. It's like that's a lot of like steps for them to take. However, if someone takes that number of steps, you can be pretty assured there's going to be a high level of there's a high level of buy-in for them coming into the space. So think about the buy-in, whether that's steps to actually get in. The other reason why this venue is important is that sometimes I've noticed book writers have an unspoken fear that, I don't know, that they're going to cop a heap of criticism, or like some wild Yahoo in the public is going to come around and, you know, say something about the launch. And by setting an energetic container, by setting a venue, you can almost eliminate all of that and only get the right people. Because so this is the next level I want to take you to. This is cool. We haven't done this. We haven't done this level of depth before on start a Facebook group for your launch. Question for you all: what is your intention for the people coming into the space? Like, who would you like in the space, whether that's online or in person or both? At your launch, what type of people? What's the nature of those people? Are they supportive? Are they congratulatory? Do they step in with honor and reverence for what you've done? Do they step in with pride? Are they culturally positive for the space? Because now we're starting to go into almost like curating an experience. And we're starting to get into this like, yes, you can come in if you've got these qualities, and if you don't, sorry, this is not for you. And the reason why I bring this up, and I think I'm even understanding it now, the reason why I'm spending a bit of time on this is to speak astrology for a second. Pluto's in Aquarius for the next 20 years. What that means is Pluto, the power, goes to those who Aquarius know who to connect to and who to disconnect from. So the definition around, hey, I want to connect with these types of people at my launch, and this is my intent, and these are my reasons why. You're really lighting up the benefits of Pluto in Aquarius. You know, like Kelly, if you don't mind me sharing, you were saying the mayor is being invited to your launch or something along those lines. It's like, okay, so the intent is that influential people show up at the launch for the purpose of conversation, so that perhaps the mayor can open a door for me somewhere or introduce me to someone else.
Dave, can I just interrupt for a second? Because there was a comment, I think Andy put a comment in the chat there about Facebook page to promote the book, etc. I just want to add to this is that, first of all, we recommend that everybody do an online launch as part of their launch strategy. But an online launch and a physical launch, you could have different people or different steps for the online launch versus the in-person launch. So the online launch, you might only have 1 or 2 steps so everybody can come. Whereas the in-person launch might be more selective, might be more curated, might be more, you know, in inviting those, as we said before, very, very important people, or, you know, like more select support group of supporters who, you know, are really there for you and have your back, and that, you know, that you're going to be able to be your totally unfiltered self around, and that they've got you and got your back, and that they're really there to celebrate you. So I just wanted to bring those distinctions into this conversation, because I think sometimes people think that it's either all or nothing, or that they've got to do one or the other. We certainly recommend everyone do an online launch, and it's up to you whether you do a in-person launch or not.
Mm-hmm. And I'll just flow on from what Davina said, and I can see the nods, and I think that's really landing with everyone, Davina, is that the decision around the timing of an online launch and in person, these sorts of things, we will help you make that decision when we have the one-on-one launch call. Okay, so that's something that we'll specifically go into with each of you individually in a private session. Yes. Okay. Can you share with me in the chat one idea that is really standing out from the first 30 minutes of this conversation so far? What's one idea that's like, oh, that's really working for me? I'm really getting that. That's going to be good. That's going to be good for me. Just get a couple of ideas in the chat. Yeah, and while we're waiting for a few answers to come in, I'll just read some of these comments here about the intentions for people coming into the space. So Carter's saying influential in their realms, passionate about the message, motivated to make change for good. Awesome. So you can already see like there's clear definition there around the type of person that he's wanting in the space. And then it's so good. Lisa's answer, it's like similar, but like very different, of course. I mean, the messages are similar but different. Curious, creative, open manifestors. Fantastic. Aligning the feeling with the experience. Yes, having the best support around me in person. Cool. Now, I'll just double down on that support for a second. Having the support around you during a launch, very, very important. Jeannie does this very, very well. I think, Jeannie, your launches are very well supported. You've always got your team on the chat, just ready for the links, ready for questions. Jean, do you want to add anything? Like, I'd just love to bring you in for a comment here, because you've launched so many times now. Is there anything you want to share with us about how you look at support for your launches? Like either what you have in place or the importance of support, how you view it, what you believe about it. Because I see you as someone that does this very well.
Thank you, Dave. Support is whatever the person feels is supportive. So for me, like Davina said, always an online launch on the personal page, not the business page. And I don't flick my personal page to business because I lost people. I actually lost people. I had to flick it back. So definitely the personal launch, but it's booked like going to a venue. And I do have my team. I have 3 staff, virtual staff. They're on board too, checking, answering links and whatever. Then I know I'm backed up and I'm just focusing on the launch of the book, and they're doing all the logistics, which is really important. But the support is also, I've got 2 books that are about to be launched this year, and one that I'll launch whenever, not sure. And I've got clients that are saying, I've got my credit card ready. So that support is actually reaching out to them personally in Messenger and saying, hey, just a quickie, I'm launching the 2 books this date. So that's support as well. In regards to an in-person support, it's all about what makes you feel good. Is that venue going to make you feel good? Is the outfit going to make you feel good? Is the food? Do you want alcohol, non-alcohol? What is it about you? Because at my events, there's no alcohol because I'm not an alcohol person. So if I was to have alcohol, it's not supportive to me or my clientele. So it's always like, what's going to make me feel good? Even like the notes I've written down of, I forgot your question, visualize the launch of the book. I already had in my mind the online launch. I'll have my background on. It'll be a Facebook Live. I know the outfit I'm wearing. have my books here. I'll have my celebration wigs. I'll have my glasses. Like that's supportive for me. What's supportive for me? Don't do it for them. Do it for yourself and your book. And what is the book? Does that answer your question?
That's superb, Jeannie. It's very
Awesome.
comprehensive.
Glad to
Thank
help.
you. Thank you very much for that. And team, I'll just give you 15 seconds now to jot down what support looks like for you based on those prompts and sharing from Jean. Because I really want to emphasize this point. You get the support for you at launch time. It will add multiple levels of power to what you're doing. It's very, very important. You know, Davina can speak to this as well.
I was
The
just going to say,
resilient
so
as fuck 2018.
exactly. I was just, here comes story time. Um, Resilient as fuck 2018, or I wrote it 2018, 2019. 2 days before Christmas, I launched it. And we launched it at Dave's then apartment in Cleveland. And we had a small little gathering like of IBW people for dinner and raw desserts because I didn't want a big thing. Silently, I was shitting myself. I thought I was only going to be online for about 10 minutes. Literally a minute before we went live, I dropped my phone on the floor, smashed the screen, it broke. And so Dave grabbed his phone, held me in like a side bear hug like this, and just kept asking me questions the whole
It was a
time.
headlock. Let's be honest. It was a headlock.
It was
You weren't
very close.
escaping.
It was very close to being a headlock, yeah. And he did not let me escape or move, but the support was just beautiful, like the masculine holding, because I really was shitting myself. And I didn't know what I was going to do or say or anything. So to speak to that as well, if you're unsure of how you're going to approach your launch, or if you think you might need support like I did in that very first one, think of who perhaps could help you or ask you questions or interview you or something along those lines. Like, is there somebody that automatically springs to mind that you think, oh, yes, like my bestie's really good at asking questions and I'd love to have them, support me even on the online launch, whatever it is for you.
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Jeannie remembers that 2018. And that was like a 1 hour Facebook Live. And that piece of content got thousands of views for months. It was like, you know how sometimes pieces of content just disappear after like a tiny few hours or a day or something? Like that kept popping up, kept popping up, kept popping up. Awesome, awesome. All right, let's have a stretch. Let's have a breath. Let's go through a few more strategies, shall we? Who would be up? Can I give to that person or me important points or notes for support? Are you talking about on the day, Kelly? Yeah. So couple of things on that. One is inside the members area, we have a worksheet that gives you about 8 or 9 questions for things to consider logistically during an in-person launch. And that would be the document I'd give to the person to consider like things like they take care of the payments. Is there a system around like how the money is going to happen? Actually think about that. I went to a launch last year, and the table for buying books was like not in the direct doorway in the line of sight, and I was like this is like the candy at the checkout. Like you got to put it in front of people's eyes, right? So there is things like that. Also in the members area, gosh, there's so many things. I'm trying to break it down for you, Kelly, to give to that. I think I need your question a little bit more specific. It's opened like it's opened like 5 folders of information for me. If you can just have a think about like are you specifically talking online? Are you specific? If you can just have a think about that and come back to me, I will definitely come back to you and answer that. Andy said, Davina, would you say the in-person launch would be recommended as well as the interview? Yep, you can do both. Yeah, they can do both. The other thing I will say, team, is that when you're doing the online launch, you actually get my support on Messenger for the lead in the day or so before through the launch. And the role that I play in supporting you is I keep an eye on what's happening, on what content is going out, what the engagement is happening, what engagement is happening. And if I see gaps or if I see something that you need, I'll screenshot it and I'll message you and I'll be like, hey, this post is popping big and there's no link on it. Like, please put the link to buy right there. Specifically for the online launch and for jobs for them to know how to do, to be prepared for. Fantastic. So next week, when we talk about launch, we do a specific piece on the first fast follower and the different roles that they can play. The first fast follower is often your key support person during an online launch. So yeah, that will be next week, and we'll go into real specifics of like they can do. Here are the like 5 or 6 tasks they can do. So thanks, Kelly. Cool. Who wants to talk about pre-sales? Yes, cool. All right, let's do it. Pre-sales, get the money, get the money, get the money. I sound like a capitalist. It's because I am. I'm also many other things. Okay, purpose of pre-sales. 1, I think it makes it really real. When someone gives you money, it's another like, oh shit, I can't back out. Someone wants this. Another reason, doing pre-sales early in the process is a way to overcome it's a way to overcome fears about selling and being out there early in the piece. Instead of just resisting, and then you get to launch and it's like, oh shit, now I've got to actually sell this thing or be open to this thing. Another reason why pre-sales are really good is that it allows you to recoup some cash. And it also allows you to know in advance how many copies you need to order on the first run. What if we don't have followers? I can't quite accept the presuppositions in that question that there's no followers, Andy, because I know you do have followers. And I'll say this, for people that have a limit, okay, let's be really accurate and let's avoid generalizations here. You've got every single person has the IBW family. And please do not underestimate the power of that. We see Americans who know no one in Australia go bestseller in Australia purely off the IBW support, and vice versa. Aussies in Canada, Aussies in the US, Aussies in Germany, this sort of things. So let's be really, really accurate about that. I've seen people with no limited social media following, just talking to people in the street about their book and taking money in advance, talking to people that you meet anywhere you go. And that would be one thing that I've seen the best authors do, is they are talking about their book everywhere they go. Hey, how you going? Really good. Just finished this on my book. What? You're writing a book? What's it about? Oh yeah, it's about this. Oh, that sounds great. Can I buy it? Yes. Would you like a copy? Right? Talk about it everywhere. Everywhere you go. Hey, what's up? I'm writing a book. Oh, I'm launching my book soon. Getting excited about my book. My book. And I know I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I'm trying to like expand the like, hey, this is cool. It can be fun. Like it doesn't need to be, yeah. My understanding is you need a clear timeline for pre-sale, as in a sure launch date. Not exactly. Yeah, Davina's right there. We've had heaps of, yeah, like Davina said, we've had heaps of people take the money without a finished manuscript. Something that is good to say is like it's coming end of 2025. Something like that. End 2025, early 2026. Something like that is fine. One thing I would encourage is communication with your list, with the pre-sale people. We had an example in 2020, I'm not going to name names, but I'll just, apart from the name, I will completely out this person. They signed up to do their book with us, got 3/4 of the way through, made a substantial amount of money in the pre-sale, like lots, like quite a lot, like fly to Europe business class, like money, and then never followed through on the book and didn't communicate to the people that had bought. Like really big name person. Like, please don't do that. Please don't do that, right? People are very considerate and understanding if you communicate. I've seen people pre-sale as much as a year in advance. The people that are buying on a pre-sale are typically those, you might have heard me talk about Kevin Kelly's concept of 1,000 true fans, is you can make an amazing living doing what you're put here to do with 1,000 true fans. A true fan of your work will buy everything that you have, even if it's a year in advance. So what would it take for you? Because partly this is strategy and like what are the logistical steps to open up a pre-sale, but partly this is your own level of openness to transact, to actually start to get your work out into the world. What would it take for you to start pre-saling? Taking money. Some of you are probably, or I think Jean's already started doing it. Have you started taking money for these next 3, Jean?
No, and I have people saying, I've got my credit card. I've actually said no, because that actually puts pressure on me. So again, it was not supportive for me, even though it'll be on the website. And I have preferred to do it on the website, and then it's all automated and stuff. But yeah, I have people going, but I'll pay now. No. But that actually builds into the anticipation.
Right.
That you're talking about. It's like they're waiting for that orgasm to happen. I'm just stringing them along for the orgasm.
Yeah. So there's the T's, right? And the difference here is the place that Jean's coming from is a very empowered and anchored place of like, I could take your money, but I'm choosing to say no. Like there's power in that, as opposed to, I'm not going to offer it because I'm scared. It's a completely different place. Okay. So Carmel's got a really good point here, setting up the infrastructure without overcomplicating it. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about infrastructure for a second. So I'm going to go low tech through to higher tech. The lowest tech way of pre-sales is you meet someone in the street and you go, give me $20. And they pull out a note and they hand it to you. And you go, thank you. Give me your email as well. Here, write it down. And then you email them that night saying, thank you for your pre-order. We'll notify you when it's ready. That's the lowest tech way. We want to bump that up one level. You have a little snippet of your bank details. Dave Thompson, account 111111, BSB 111111, reference, book pre-sale, amount $20. And you just copy paste that to anyone that wants it. The next level of tech would be to have either a PayPal link or a Stripe link, which are relatively easy to create if you have a PayPal and Stripe account. You just enter it as a product, pre-sale, my book. Here it is. Jean had low tech at the Noosa Surf Club toilet and they gave me the money. See, this is great. This is great, right? Like Jean, sophisticated businesswoman, has all the tech and the setup, like has the full works, still taking money, grassroots, old school at the Noosa Surf Club, right? So I hope what everyone's receiving here is one of the things that I've learned about making money is that you want to make it easy for people to give you the money. And that's the biggest thing about pre-sales. Make it easy for them. What does that mean? Have a clear and direct path. Have as many paths as possible, or have a couple of paths. Like, you can give me cash. You can bank transfer me. Here's a Stripe link for credit cards. Easy, 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 easy. Or if you want to be a bit cheeky, yes, I'll accept half a Bitcoin for my book. Yes, I'll accept a silver American dollar. Of course I would receive that. Make it easy for them to, Carmel says, taking and receiving money for my book will be an important energetic initiation. Thank you for naming that, Carmel. I think that's important for some people. That is a really important piece. And like I said, if that's a big thing for you, it's better to get that, to develop that openness early in the piece so that when it comes to launch, you don't have to deal with it at launch. Gold bullion at the moment. Yes, a speck of gold. I love it. Yes. I'll say another thing about timing of pre-sales. What I've noticed is that people will make pre-sales, it'll go in waves. Okay. What I mean by that is there will be certain hot points in the peak of the interest and the energy about your book where you'll be able to feel it. It's like, oh, it's on, it's the time. What sort of times am I talking about? Let's say all right. So for example, Paige and Andy and Kelly actually in the last sort of 7 to 10 days have crossed some significant bridges in their publishing processes, right? In those moments, there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of good feeling. It's like, oh yes, I did it. Like, here we go. Those are the moments to go, hey, I just crossed this bridge. It's coming soon. Here's the pre-sale if you want it. And what you'll notice is that the energy around that time, you'll get a good portion of buyers in that sort of 2-day window. Then it'll drop down again, but then there'll be another uptick, right? So I share this with you to encourage you to tune in to when the excitement is there and offer the pre-sale at that time. Is that making sense, team? Any other thoughts, or what do you think about tagging Facebook friends on these posts? I am generally in favor of it if there's if there's a good relationship with those people and if you're pretty confident they would be supportive of the book. If you're just sort of tagging Joe from 8th grade soccer and you haven't spoken to him in 10 years, like that would be a little bit weird. But yeah, like for example, Andy, if you posted, and I'll just say this, I think Davina, please, if you're like, for example, if you guys were to tag me in a post about your book at any time about any aspect of it, I would be fine with that. You don't need to ask my permission for that. Okay. And I think Davina, you would be similar. You're the same. Yep. So if you want to tag us, that's totally cool. Right? Because that's awesome for us. What it allows us to do is take your content and reshare it to our networks. I mean, it's good for us, for our business, because we're showing, hey, we're working with this person. They're doing great work. Here, look at the great work that happens at IBW. Like, it's fantastic for IBW business. It's also fantastic for you because then you're getting reach into our communities that you might not be in.
And you can actually tag IBW, like not just us personally, but IBW as well.
And what we do, just to be really clear with this, if you do tag us, and even if you don't tag us, sometimes we'll still see it and we'll still share it. We have the IBW Community Network Group, which is a group of about 450 people. That group is like every single person that has ever come across IBW and bought something who loves inspirational books. There's people in that group that literally buy every book that is launched, right? So we reshare your stuff in there as a community notice to let people know, hey, look what Lisa Hawkey's doing. You know, she's in Spain and here's Fearless Wanderlust. Phenomenal. Like, such a great story for us to share. Yes. Anything else on pre-sales, team? Any other questions, comments? The other thing I'll just say, you may want to cap pre-sales. Is it the same price? Yeah, great question. I like to give a $5 special on a pre-sale, Carmel. Like, if it's going to be $25 retail, I like to do it at 20. Or if it's going to be $19.95, do it at $14.95. I like that. I do like to put a cap on it. Reason being is I've definitely seen people who didn't put a cap on it, and then they get 225 pre-orders, and then they've just signed themselves up for 2 days of signing and packing books, which for some people is fantastic and they love it and it's super cool, and for others it's it's, I don't know, I love signing books, so yeah, I typically wouldn't put a cap on it, but that's something to consider. Can you give a discount in exchange for their emails? Usually I just capture their email in the purchase process. I mean, you could give me your email and you get $5 off the pre-sale. But I would just take it as part of the order, Andy. Now, in terms of the actual implementation of the pre-sale, this is something that we talk about on the Friday check-ins, and often we will issue people with challenges, with a challenge. So I'll be like, you know, Kelly Moody, go out into the world and to the next session, bring me a $20 note that's a pre-sale. Like, show me the $20, you know. And if you've got any resistance to this, there's superpowers in doing it once. Because once you've done it once, you've got a reference point for success. If you can do it once, you can do it twice. If you can do it twice, you can do it 5 times. If you can do it 5 times, you can do it 10 times. Right? So there's the power of one is very profound here. Like, you know what? I'd even pay it if you like asked your kid, hey, I've been feeding you for 20 years. Buy my book. It's not here yet, but buy it. Give me the money. Awesome. Let's have a stretch. Let's have a breath. I feel like I'm getting very fired up here. I like it. Lots of good messages coming out to the world. All right. Let's talk. Shall we talk this? Carter, you got to jump off? No worries, my friend. Thank you for being here. Awesome. Let's talk VIP list for a second. VIP list. What that is once you've announced to the world, hey, the book's coming, from that moment of pre-launch, you're going to be releasing content about the book. So updates on how the book's progressing through publishing, you're documenting the journey. I've seen Kelly Moody do this really well. Carmel's doing this really well as well. You know, the updates of the stage that it's at. Any piece of content that relates to the book, the call to action at the bottom of that post, and for those that don't know, the call to action is what you want people to do after reading the post. One of the best things to put at the end is a link to join a VIP list. Now, what does that look like? Let me share with you my screen for a second. So this was the VIP list for First Time Author, which was my book that recently came out. what it is it's just a name and an email. Enter your name and email, get exclusive access to the first time author book before anyone else. So why would someone join this? Well, what I'm really looking to create with a VIP list is I'm looking to create an inner circle of, of true fans, that Kevin Kelly idea of 1,000 true fans, of people that really want to support what I'm doing, okay, that want insider access, that want behind the scenes shares that you're not sharing publicly, like the deeper stuff. And so for those people who, might be a little bit worried about the comments from the public, having a VIP list is a really great way to bring people more into your inner circle, to create somewhat of a boundary between the outside world and your inner world. And it's a way to create a bit more safety for you to go really, really deep with people. And ultimately, what's the VIP list about? It's about making the reader feel special. Make them feel special. The other thing that having a VIP list does is it is creating a list of warm to hot readers for your launch moment. I don't know about you, but I would much rather launch knowing even 50 people are on my list and they are supporting me and they're going to buy. I would much rather launch with the support of warm to hot people than have just going cold to the market. I don't know. That's just me. Can anyone else relate to that? That would that feel good to you as well to know, hey, even if it's 35, it might be more. Ness Jones is over 250 on her VIP list. I think Paige, you're doing pretty well with numbers. You're sort of, it's trickling along. It's getting there. Yeah, it gives me confidence. Awesome. This is an important play, I think, for you in for an author to bring, especially to bring confidence into what you're doing. And I'll just share with you, we'll go back to that in a second. I'll show you the mechanics of how it works. What we've noticed is that 80% of people on a VIP list will buy at launch time. So if you get 50 on a VIP list, you got 40 purchases. If you're going for Amazon bestseller and they buy all on the same day, unless like Tony Robbins is launching in your category, 40 is typically enough to get you a bestseller in at least one category. Maybe not in the US. The US is a bit more competitive. You probably need 60 to really be guaranteed in the US. So even at low numbers on a VIP list, there's still a lot of value in that because they have a very high buy rate and they are in a circle. And here's the other thing. People on a VIP list can often be, and this is going to sound possibly mechanical and engineering and a bit cold, they can be converted into sneezers. And this is the other idea I want to talk about today. And we're moving into the pre-launch now. Sneezers. What is a sneezer? The idea of a sneezer is someone who goes, chew about your book. And it goes everywhere. Because think about that journey. Someone sees your content online. They go, oh, I want to know about that book. They join the VIP list. You bring them in a circle. You give them behind the scenes. You make them feel special. They're getting a behind the scenes view. As you move closer to launch, you've invested and given up front that then you've earned the right to say, hey, I'd really love it if you shared this. Do you see how that works? Like the reciprocity works? What are you guys hearing here? We'll talk more about sneezes. I know we need to go back to the mechanics of VIP list. What are you hearing? Carmel, I'd be curious what you're hearing.
Yeah, just that safety piece, that curating of that inner circle to give that kind of soft landing. And I think for me, what's really coming through is we talked earlier about the energetics of the launch, pre-launch, I should say, and the launch. I think for me, I want it in the VIP list as well. I would love to kind of impart a bit of that energetic stamp. And so for me, I'm really getting the sense of I want to create like a magical inner circle. I want to give them as much love upfront as possible. So for me, that feels really reciprocal.
Yeah.
And it kind of underpinned that whole, like, the real talk, the, market talk of conversion, all that sort of stuff. But for me, it makes it a bit more human to human. So
Yes.
it makes me excited about that.
Yeah. And I love that you've touched on that, because the very dry internet marketing, bro marketing, strategy only approach to this often doesn't feel good, because there's not that understanding of reciprocity and like what is actually going to feel good here. Like, I'm not dealing with numbers on a list, I'm actually dealing with people. So what would feel really good? Oh, well, if I give them this and I give them this and I genuinely want to, because that feels good for me to give that, then it also feels good to ask them to share it, because that's good for me, that's good for them, it's good for the greater good. More people hear about the book. It's like good, good, good. If that's what's lighting up in your launch strategies, fantastic. Like, that's what we want to create. Paige, what are you hearing here? What's landing for you?
Well, I've been planning and writing for so long that it's like, and then I'll get close to I don't know, some details and get excited, but then I pull back. And so for me, it's like it's getting real, and I can see that the most important thing here is these relationships and these touch points with people, and back to the original core of the whole thing of just like, what's happening for people because of me, and because of the bravery and the effort to tell the story and all this time. And so really what's like alive in my mind is like conversations, like really great conversations and juicy conversations. Yeah.
I love it. Because, team, and this, I didn't set this frame at the outset, and I probably should have. Everything that I'm sharing through this workshop series is based on relationship marketing. That is the overarching philosophy. It's a bit of an old school way of business, people to people, right? It's treating people as people and recognizing the humanness in them. All of these strategies are designed to, and I'm sort of blending internet marketing language with humanity here. All of these strategies are designed to optimize for conversation, because it is in the conversation with your readers that the opportunities and the conversions can happen. So if there's a business aspect here for you, conversations lead to conversions. Even if you're not someone who's like, well, I want to sell my program off the back of this book. Even if you're someone who's like, you know what, I am open to the opportunities. It's the conversation that will lead to the opportunity, right? So Kelly Moody, at that launch, my encouragement to you, talk to everyone that you feel drawn to. Yeah. Even just a minute or two. Conversation. Like, you don't have to sell anything. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to like be seeking anything or trying to get anything. It's just, I want to talk to people and I want to see what's there. I want to see what's in the room. I want to see what pops up. Who knows? The mayor might be the biggest asshole you've ever met, and you're like, nah, not doing anything with that mayor. But then there might be someone else who's amazing, and then they open doors. Big point. Thank you for sharing that, Paige. The likes of Lisa Hawkey, I think conversations for you, like I am so excited about the conversations you're going to have during your launch. I see you as someone who is a very good conversationalist. You're very good with people and of all walks of life. And I suspect you are going to have your mind blown by the opportunities that are presented to you as you travel around Europe with a book on Fearless Wanderlust, talking to people. I can't even anticipate what's going to happen there, but I think it's going to be very exciting. Davina's very on board on that. And look at that. It's come in 1111. New beginnings. Who said magic isn't real? They were lying. Cool. Andy, what are you taking from this?
I'm very anxious. I don't know why.
What's it about? What's
that?
that about? Is it just that it's new? There's some new stuff here.
I guess I'm feeling like pressured. It's a good pressure, not a bad pressure. And it kind of it gets me like a little bit anxious because at the same time it gets me what's the word? It kind of gets me like excited to see to just thinking about, like, for example, right now all the questions that I was asking you. In a second, when I heard you talking, I felt like a little bit scared. I was like, oh my God, oh, this is coming soon, because I'm close. Yesterday, today I didn't work on the book, I had to work, but yesterday I was going back and just kind of like going through everything. And I'm like, I'm further than I thought I was. It's like honestly, within days. I don't want to jinx myself and say, oh, I'm probably like submitting the manuscript this Friday. No, I'm just going to say a few days. And it's like, and right now when we're talking about like the people to people conversations that will lead to like conversion and all this, it's like as I hear you guys speak, I'm envisioning like all the things I could possibly do. I hear like Kelly Moody over here is about to do something great as well. So I mean, she's about to launch her book, and is it right that she's going to be doing like talking to people, and is she going to do like an in-person one?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So just like hearing her, like about her, and I'm just like envisioning myself, like, what am I going to say to people? Who am I going to meet? And it reminds me of the people that I will reach out to, that I've met a few times, and hopefully they'll probably be that sneeze that spreads the word, because one of them is very special to me. And I feel like he's going to be that one sneeze that might make everything happen for me. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it's getting me very excited and nervous at the same time. So I won't deny it. I am feeling a little anxious tonight.
Andy, can I offer you
Davina, go.
Sorry, can I just offer you a little hint? Because before I did Resilient as Fuck in 2018, I was feeling the same. I thought, oh, I've got no following, nobody knows me, blah, blah, blah. Who's even going to buy this book? I was a little bit like Dave with his first book. I thought, well, mum will buy it, definitely. But do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, and so what I did in my lead up to that is I just started talking about it in conversation to anybody. I just found ways to bring it up naturally in a conversation just with my friends, and then it just sort of started getting a little bit before I even started speaking about it online. Do you know what I mean? Because really, we're talking pre-launch and pre-launch strategies here today, and we've covered a few, but there's like so many, right? There's literally so many. And so I picked, I think, 2 or 3 key strategies that I knew felt good, but also a little bit of a stretch, but that I knew I could execute on. And then just what I did is just started talking to people about it, like at the coffee shop and at the gas station, or do you know what I mean? Like just wherever. And then it made it easier come launch time, even though I shared just before I was still scarce-sighted with Dave
Yeah.
beside me. But you know, like that's a way, because yes, you're getting close, but you've also got time, you
Mm.
know, so don't think that you haven't. You've got time to make it work for
Mm.
you.
Thank you.
Well,
I think that I've been, sorry, that I
Mm.
just been like very, um, since I started like picking everything back up, I'm just like, I've been on top of it, and now I'm like, okay, I need to get this done. I need to get this done. And it's, you know, it's a little, I'm pressuring myself a little bit with it because I know that I'm just within days. If I wanted to like really focus and cut off distractions, like one of the other weekends that I did, that was amazing. It was beautiful. I was able to move forward a lot. And but at the same time, you know, I can't help but feel a little anxious there.
Mm. And that's okay. If what we've noticed in the emotional journey is there does get a point, sometimes it's a day before, sometimes it's 3 weeks before the launch, when it actually all just lands and you go, okay, I can actually do this. We had one gentleman from Canada who showed up for months, and every single week at the check-in, he's like, I'm shitting myself. I'm shitting myself. Like, he would literally use those words. And then 3 weeks before he launched, he goes, you know what? I think I'm good now. And we're like, what? What? You're actually good? So totally normal, Andy. And that's why showing up every week at the Fridays or the Thursday night for you is just little bit by little bit, we can help you, like, get it dropped in. But for you right now, definitely first priority, get that manuscript done. Then you'll have a heap more space. So
Absolutely.
yeah, thank you for
Thank you.
sharing that. Team, we're coming towards the end of the session, but I want to share with you just a couple more strategies. If anyone wants to see how that VIP page works, I will be putting the links to that up in the group with this recording after the session. So you'll be able to actually just model that. Like, you could literally just send the links to your VA or to someone to support you and just go, hey, can you make this functionality for me, but with my words for my book title? So that's very easy to model. Please feel free to model it in terms of the structure and the functionality. Of course, definitely change the words to your book. You're not promoting my book. Although thank you if you do decide to do that. And just make it your colors. As for the sneezes, the final question, just to round out that sneezer conversation, is I just want to make a point that I've seen people just make one or two key connections and it just changes the game for them. It just opens doors like you wouldn't believe. You know, we had Lisa Twigg, end of 2023, writing a book about this new perspective on dementia. Her dad had dementia. She's written her story about it. She's like, hey, we need to change the stigma that's around dementia. And then gets to the end, is like, I'm not launching this. Like was adamant. Like, no, like, I do not, like, don't push me into anything. Like, this is for my family. Anyway, bit by bit, she opens up, launches her book, has one person at the Dementia Society of Australia, so like the one of the governing bodies, one of the institutions around dementia in Australia, sees the launch, says, we need to talk, brings her into the fold. Next thing you know, she's doing speaking gigs. She's on ABC Radio in Brisbane, in Perth. She's flying to Perth to speak there. And this is someone that's like, nah. It's the classic, like, Neo in the Matrix, the hero's journey. It's not me. I'm not the one that will change the world. No, it's not me. And it's like, you are. Yes, you are. Right? Yeah, Jean said it was so good watching her. That was just magnificent. She's a really great example of that. So maybe that's a story as well, with a little bit of an impetus for you to accept the call to greatness in your own way and to change your pocket of the world, to change your pocket of the internet. And maybe that's a frame that you can, add into the intentions for your launch. So that's what I mean about sneezes. The last bit I'll say about that is the direct personal contact in terms of, yeah, make space for magic. Thanks, Carmel. Yeah. Is when you're bringing sneezes in to share about your book, the direct personal contact has it really works. It really works. Like when I launched First Time Author earlier this year, the majority of the direct personal contact was actually done by Davina. She was messaging people going, hey, have you got Dave's book yet? Like something along those lines. And it was, thanks, Lisa. And there was a very, very high response rate. So I know it's a little bit more in terms of labor and time on your part. But again, like the VIP list, the value is super high in terms of the conversions. So keep that in mind as well. And we'll flesh that out in your one-on-one session as well. Like, what does the direct personal contact look like? The final thing I want to talk about is the type of content to start to release. Can you ask your VIP list to review your book as well? Absolutely. That's a big, thanks for sharing that. That's a huge benefit of having a VIP list, because after the launch or during it, hey, VIP list, thank you so much for buying it. Would love if you could leave me a review. They're in a circle. You've given and you've given and you've given. This is something with Launches team. Gary Vaynerchuk, social media, one of the preeminent social media experts of our time, he said that he will give and give and give and give and give all year. And I know every single person here is a giver to their communities and your people and everyone around you. And he said the one time that he would make a firm ask is his book launch. Firm ask. Buy it, please. Review it. Share it. Buy, review, share. Those are the three specific things you're asking for. So Kelly, when people say to you, how can I support your launch, Kelly? You just go to them, well, thank you very much for asking. There's actually 3 ways. Buy it, review it, share it. That would mean the world to me. Thank you so much. I feel a firm ask around buy and review. Yeah, cool. Something not quite as strong around share. Share. Buy, review, share. And some people during launch, and we'll talk about this next week, some people actually do posts to their community while they're launching, and they'll go, hey, if you want to help me during this launch, here's how you can do it. Buy it here. Review it here. Share it. There's the button for sharing. Buy, review, share. In terms of content, we might speak about this a bit more next week in launch, but to give you some really basic, easy ones, when you're doing your content, a really easy thing to do is count down posts leading into the launch. So you might count down 14 days, 13 days. You know the whole like 12 days of Christmas? And there's like a graphic and 12 days to go, days to go. Do a countdown. Make sure the date is on the graphic. 80 days to go. Yeah, Kelly, I think you've been doing like 80, 70, 60, like that sort of thing. That's great. That's great. Why is that? Because people come and go from social media. They might not see your day 60 update, but they might see your day 40 update. Yeah. Definitely do a countdown. Why does that work? You want to start imprinting people with the time and the date. Because if you're very clear, hey, it's happening this time and date, you're going to get a better show up rate when you do your online launch, right? Countdown posts. The other really easy one is that I see a lot of people doing really well in this room is documenting the journey. Documenting the journey of publishing. Oh, my book is at this stage. Kelly, you've been doing this really well recently. Just passed copy edit, just submitted for cover. This just happened. So share the actual procedural step. And then for bonus points, share what you're feeling. Just hit submit on the final review. Shitting myself, but excited. Join the VIP list. You know, ready or not, coming this September. Do you know what I mean? It can be as simple as that, documenting the journey. What can that look like? That can look like selfies. Selfies are awesome. One of our authors, Angie Kay, that was her only strategy, was like, I'm at this stage and here's a selfie of me. Right? Like she just did that over and over and over and over again. Probably did it 25 times in the lead up to a launch. Admittedly, a photogenic lady, right? Knows how to take a selfie, get the high angle. We're not, taking it from low, right? So she had a little bit of skill in the taking of the photo. And it was really clear because it wasn't a complicated strategy, right? So I hope that's what everyone's getting here, is this doesn't have to be complex. Even that VIP list, the simple version of that is, hey, give me your email and I'll tell you when it's ready. Or give me your phone number and I'll tell you when it's ready. And then on the day of the launch, you sit there with the phone numbers and you go, hey, Bob, we shared the Uber to Potts Point. My book's here. Go. Buy it now. Like, it can be that simple. Again, it's human to human, human to human, human to human, human to human. Humans buy off humans. Treat people like humans in the launch. Make that connection with them. If you can make them feel, you will be memorable. I think that's all I got for content right now. It's been a huge session. Let's go around the room. Other next sessions coming up. Thank you, Jeannie. So this time next week will be the launch workshop. So that'll be Wednesday, the 30th of July at 10 a.m. Brisbane time. That will be the Tuesday, the 29th in the USA, whatever time this session started for you. Then the following week, the Thursday after that, and I'll get you the exact date, 6th of August. Wednesday the 6th, 10 a.m. post-launch. Again, that'll be Tuesday the 5th in the US or Canada in the evening in your time zone. That'll be the post-launch session. Thank you, Jeannie. All of them are recorded. Do encourage you to come live. They will be 90-minute sessions. And the path forward from here, team, in terms of the support is any follow-up questions that you've got from this, please put them in the Facebook group. Second thing, if you've got please come to the Friday check-ins or Thursday night if you're in the US. Third thing, the one-on-one with me leading into your launch to nail down the launch strategy. That's it. There's multiple aspects of support for getting you ready for this, as well as on the launch night, me being on Messenger as well. Yeah, the Publish and Launch group. Thanks, Davina. I'd love to go around the room and just get a little soundbite from everyone. Either, your choice, what was the best thing from today, or what was the growth piece for you today? And please just give me the soundbite, just a little snippet, so we can all share in what was feeling a little bit edgy for people. Jeannie, what was the best thing, or what was the growth point for you? Either or, your pick.
We'll say it's both, and the last two books I wrote, not this one this year. It's time for a Facebook Live, just to let the followers know it's happening. It's happening.
Mm-hmm.
They're ready with the credit card, but just do a live to that human to human, especially with all the AI shit at the moment. Let's get back to human. So thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Jeannie. Love that. Carmel, best thing or growth point for you?
I think dropping into feeling is always that's where things become alive again. So for me, the light bulb today was I want my launch, pre-launch, or basically the undercurrent energy for me is birthday energy. Even if I'm not It's not my line to my actual birthday,
Mhm.
but just
Mhm.
being born again, crossing the life stage. So that was really nice for me. And then I have a question for Friday, I think, around this. Around
Okay.
for some reason I've got a resistance to Facebook, but it's been a platform that surprised me in terms of how people have responded. So it doesn't have to be now, but I was wondering if you could expand on why Facebook being the chosen platform to create a group, if it just
Yeah, cool.
logistically supports it, or
Cool. Cool. Well, we'll go through some shares, and then if you guys want to hang around for a moment, I'm happy to answer that question, Carmel. And if anyone wants to hang around for the answer, totally cool too. So thank you for that. Andy, best thing or growth point for you?
Definitely both. Best thing was support from all the group. That was amazing. I appreciate that. And growth point for me is realizing that all this is coming more clear and it's coming all together. And I really need to start posting more about the book and talking more about it because it's now becoming a reality. It's not just a goal. It's now physically happening. Therefore, I need to talk about it and expose it. Stop being
Love
shy
it.
about it.
Love it. Love it.
Thank you.
You know, the second you submit, this whole launch thing is going to open up for you. You're going to have so much more bandwidth and space. And actually, you strike me, Andy, as soon as you start going, the any of the feeling is just going to disappear. It's just like initial, right? You strike me as someone, once you're going on something, it's like, try and stop me. Is that accurate? Yeah. Cool.
100%.
Cross this bridge, get it in. It's all going to open up for you. Love
Thank
it.
you.
And thank you for showing up. This is like the way you're showing up is really supporting the power and the potency of your journey. So keep doing it.
I appreciate it. And just lastly, I want to say congratulations to Kelly.
Yes. Awesome. Kelly, best thing or growth point for you? Thanks, Andy.
Just reminders, really. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. Yeah, just reminders, really, because I did this session, I think last year just after I joined, but I think back then it was all so foreign and too far away, whereas now I'm in it, I'm right here, so it's landing better. And yeah, so just reminders. And Jean's point about making your launch for you, as long as it, like you said, Dave, if you want pink cupcakes with sprinkles, well, that's what I'm going to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
So
it.
thanks everybody.
Awesome.
Thanks for your support and ideas.
Love it, Kelly. Very excited for your launch. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Paige, best thing for you or growth point for you, Paige?
Oh, I think just I love being in this container because every time we have a call, it just has a certain energy that is a hybrid of grounded and inspired and also just really practical and doable. And that's been beautiful. So anyway, I'm coming off of this call just feeling like, oh, like it's all happening, it's all doable, it's gonna be just what it needs to be. And also this, I'm starting to allow myself to get excited because it is my signature entering the world. And that reactivation of this does merit my attention. There's so many things that my attention's, I'm learning so many new things all the time, how to make money and creating constantly. But this, like I said in the chat, maybe people didn't see this, but it was like the delay in getting the launch actually has allowed it to have a healthy gestation. You know, I'm getting the prenatal care and getting the systems in place so that this birth is feeling like pretty healthy and normal.
Great.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. We want to challenge you to grow and experience, because remember, part of stepping into flow is there's an appropriate level of challenge. And so that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing you're doing, Paige. And yeah, it's the way it's heading is it just brings a smile to my face, because I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. All the bits coming together. And they always do, team. They always come together. Davina says it every time. If it's not right yet, it's not the end. It's always right in the end. And if it's not right yet, it's not the end. Jeannie says it always works out, because it does. It always works out. Even, we didn't even talk about it much. We'll talk about it next week. But like, if you have tech problems during the call, it's like during your launch, like you roll with it, you make it work, you do something different, you use a different device, you utilize whatever is in front of you. Oh my gosh, folks, the, Canadian Pacific Railway 111 is just taking off behind my house. How unexpectedly, unscheduled passing of my house. They built a railway overnight. I didn't even know about it. But you can't hear anything that I'm saying because it's so loud. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Roll with whatever is there. I'm getting a bit fired up. We will leave it there. Davina, any final thoughts for the group? No. Thank you, team. We'll end we'll keep the recording going. I'll just answer Carmel's question. So, Carmel, as I was understanding it, the question was related to Facebook groups. Do you have to do a Facebook group or a Facebook event? Are there alternatives? Can you give me the thread again,
It's just
please?
Facebook is the chosen platform. Like there are,
Cool.
there's Instagram, there's other ones. And I have noticed for myself, so I'm interested to hear what the reflection is, that I had resistance. So I didn't announce that I was doing a book on Facebook. I did it on Instagram, but and all my shares since have been really warmly received. Like the engagement is different on Facebook. And I also know that I think I had a resistance to Facebook because we had Facebook since like, when I started
Forever.
using a long time ago. So for me, it's like there are people that I knew feels like 20 years ago, but so why would they be interested in what I'm doing now? Yet people come out of the woodwork. It just feels like it's more the chronology of all my iterations and not necessarily aligned to where I am now. However, my book does go really far into the past to start with that journey. So I'm like, oh, this could actually be the perfect place. But I initially had resistance to it. So I'm just wondering why Facebook when there are so many other platforms.
Cool. So primary principle here is to primarily launch on the platform or the medium where you have the biggest following and most engagement with people. For me, personally, that's Facebook. So that's a big reason why I do that. I have seen people primarily focus on Instagram and do great launches. They do their online book launch show, like the live presentation. They do that on Instagram Live. I've seen that work. People that are Instagram heavy tend to be very good at stories and putting the links in the story. So if you've got a strong story game, utilize that, right? Go to where your strengths are. Just for complete context here, we had a leadership coach in 2019 who had 100 Facebook friends. They were all family, no private connections on Facebook. She applied these strategies. Her list was on email. So she did the whole launch on email because that's where her connections were, right? She either did she did it on email. She SMS'd them. This is like old school corporate leadership, right? Like think about this. Like 2005 comes round, social media comes. She didn't get on that boat, right? But she's been around 25 years, knows a lot of people at institutions. She did it on email. She phoned people. Hey, Bob, remember that conference we were at in 2008 at, wherever? Guess what? I'm launching a book. Phone calls. So go where your people are. That's the primary one. The reason I like Facebook is they give you the ability to create an event, which people can then say they're interested or going to. And then every update that you give, every piece of content can be posted in that event. And then the people that have said yes get a notification. So it's a way to notify people. Specifically for you, Carmel, in terms of like the people from the past, I don't see any issue. I'm just feeling warm support that you're getting from your Facebook. And fantastic if people are coming out of the woodwork. That's what's meant to happen. Like would you say 100%, Davina, of launches have people coming out of the woodwork? It's pretty damn close. Why do I keep using, oh, Bob, we went to this thing. It's like, I met you for 10 minutes, Bob. Like those sort of people will come out of the woodworks. So is that okay, Carmel? Like, is there are you okay to receive the people out of the woodworks, to receive the warmth?
think
Is there
it's
something
really-
else to it?
I think it's an interesting time right now in social media because, as Gary Vee said, social media has become interest media on all the other platforms, almost bar Facebook at the moment. So Facebook is still curate, like it's very closed,
Yep.
contained with your friends and
Yep.
people, your connections. Whereas I'm noticing that things disappear quicker on Instagram. Because you're competing with a lot more interest media, so people will get a lot more people who they don't follow on their feed. And there's more buying power on Facebook at the moment because just the age demographic and the kind of, because it's more community pages than say, I just feel at the moment there's an aspect of going on TikTok or Instagram where it's a bit like blast, but you don't really know where the fragments land. Facebook is smaller, but it's a bit more curated. For me, the tension is like, well, it doesn't, maybe at this point in the game, I'm going to my very important people, my inner circle, rather than going for my topic readers. So it's almost like I need a parallel strategy where I'll post things on Instagram, but not with the same conversion mindset for the launch, but hoping that in the long term, the trajectory of my sales, I'll start to curate that following around my coaching and my topic. But at the outset, it may be that Facebook is where I kind of primarily launch to my loved ones, and Instagram is the long game.
I think that makes sense.
Thanks for letting me say that out loud.
All good. I think that makes sense. Again, and those people that just come across your stuff, like you might have 1,000 really close people on Facebook. You might have 100,000 on Instagram or TikTok, but it's a lot shallower out of that 100,000.
What do you mean shallower?
Like the level of engagement and interest isn't the same. And I think this is one of the myths that is propagated in social media, is that you need to have a huge following to make a good living. It's not true. It's not true. Like I know a guy who's doing 300K a month US, and his total following across Facebook, email, Instagram is 7,000 people.
Wow.
Like, you don't need a big following. But what you do need, and that's why I keep talking about this Kevin Kelly idea of 1,000 true fans, is the people that would buy anything you put out. They just can't wait for you to post a piece of content because they're on it, love it, like it, share it. I think there's a lot more value in that. Maybe it's a bit slow, maybe it's a bit slower. Maybe it takes time to build up. I mean, I've built that up for me, but I've been doing it a decade. and it's been a lot of the in-person. Yeah, Jeannie says real estate house sales only need 100 loyal people for the rest of their life, and that keeps you in income and success. Yeah. Because, part of, to me, I feel like they think I'm actually turning into an influencer. Yeah, I mean, there definitely exists the possibility that your content will blow up and be seen by stacks of people. Like that's definitely happened to our book writers. And if that happens, fantastic. Yeah, but also you really do not need a huge following. And part of how we do it at IBW, this is probably sharing the overall strategy of how I think about business, is we like to invest our energy into delivery and into our relationships with our clients. The reason we do that is because I know part of my design is that my people will bring me more of my people. Right? So if I go out of my way, Carmel, to make sure you personally have an amazing experience, that's one of the best marketing things that I can do. And there's no requirement that you go out and talk about anyone, but it's just this is the intention behind it, is that we do such a good job for our people that they can't help but talk. Like we had it this morning at the writing club. One of our authors from 2020, she brought 2 of her friends, I'd never seen them before, brought them to the writing club. And to be absolutely frank, there was a little bit of a shit fight and a fuck up in the publication of that book. We did not do the perfect job. She also contributed to that, right? Like it was a mutual thing. Like it was not the smoothest delivery. We got there and there was an amazing result, but it was just a bit like, fuck, I'm glad we got to the end of that. On both sides, right? It was mutual. We were both doing things. So yeah, I think we can either reach for 100,000, 1 million followers and not have the depth, or we can go for the depth. And I'm not saying either is right or wrong. This is where you've got to understand your design. So there's someone I met last weekend. I'm like, you are a star. Give this girl the fucking microphone and put the lights on her, because she needs millions of people looking at her stuff. It's actually in her design, right? How do I know that? I read her astro chart. I'm like, oh, you're meant to be big and shiny and in the lights, and your Mars in Leo is trining that Jupiter in Aries. It's like, wear that leotard, get the microphone, put the lights on. That's how she does it. That's not everyone, right? And especially for what you're wanting to create, Carmel, which I don't know, I feel a real like coziness and warmth and respect and reverence of the space that you're creating for your business, for the people that you want to work with. Like they have to have that if you're going to actually engage with them and go deep with them and actually really transform them. That doesn't, like, at least right now, you don't need 100,000 on TikTok for that to happen. And I think these are the business decisions that we all need to make, and we need to be very discerning about what's going to work for us. Because, like, to be absolutely frank, when I put that VIP list on the screen, I saw people squirm, and not in like a, oh, that's growth, squirm in like a shut down, that's too much tech for where I'm at. Okay? And that's okay. There's other people in the room, like, Jeannie's got a killer of a back end that she's worked on for a long time. Like, we can have that conversation because that's easy for her to implement and execute on, right? And so it's, yeah, where am I going now? Matching the strategy to your design and to the stage of your journey. Oh, yes. The 2K, I'll speak to this too. Andy, the 2K followers on the beauty studio, but only had 10 hearts on a post. Okay, that doesn't mean jack. Like, do not read anything into that. In this game, a couple of years ago, I had this mentor doing about 250K a month in the coaching space. And she's putting up posts. She's getting like 2 likes on a post, like a long form written with like a really stunning photo of her, like visually aesthetic, well written, all this great call to action. 2 likes. I'm like, what the hell's that about? How can you get 2 likes on a post and be making 250K a month? She's like, yeah, the stalkers, the lurkers, they just watch and then they inbox me. There's nothing public, right? Happens all the time to me. People inbox me, Dave, I've been watching you since 2015. I'm like, really? I've never come across you. Right? This is what happens in social media. Okay, so don't read into, oh, I'm only getting a few likes. It's like, there will be lurkers. I guarantee you there are lurkers, particularly if you are writing about something that touches on people's shame or embarrassment. Can you imagine a book about erectile dysfunction for men and men publicly going, I love this comment, can't wait for this book? Are you for real? No way. No way. That post is getting crickets publicly. But then the DMs, there you go. So yeah, Andy, don't read into that. And I know it's tempting. I know it's tempting because like the dopamine of like, oh, everyone's liking my thing. And it's like, yeah, well, you know, there's a pretty predictable way to get likes. If you are a visually pleasing person, take a selfie and post it. People will like it. Take a photo of babies, of palm trees, you know, nice environments, nice food. It's like that is broadly applicable, right? People love that. And I'm not discounting the value of that because that can also communicate your values, which is really important. You know, I've seen Carmel, you do some family stuff. It's like, cool. So that's showing you have family values. And if someone's got to work with you, if they have family values, it's going to be a values match. So that's one indicator towards, yes, this will probably be a good client, right? If I post a photo of me having a big steak, the vegans that want to kill the meat eaters steer clear of me. The vegans that are okay with meat, but it's just their personal choice, they still come in, right? And that's fine. I'm not judging someone for what they eat. Eating is a very personal choice. But I don't want people in my space going, you're a bad person because you ate steak. I'm like, I don't need that. It's a bit of a there's a lot of nuance to the social media world. And if you haven't spent a lot of time in it, I can appreciate how there could be some overwhelm or anxiety about engaging with it. But, you know, the one thing that I've learned, and I think if you've been around any length of time, you'll know this too, is the more you can be, the more of a lighthouse you become. Shining the light of who you are. Jeannie does this so well. If you're not following Jean, go and follow her social media immediately because she's very much like, you are guaranteed to get Jean. You're not going to get not Jean. It's impossible to get something other than Jean when you follow Jean. Okay? There's going to be pink glasses. There's going to be tutus. There's going to be like past lives. There's going to be mystery school stuff. There's like, we're going to go out there and out there and out there, and we're going to do it with a leotard on, twirling something because it's fun, right? The more you can be you, the more you can be a beacon to attract the right people. And so for the likes of, you know, Kelly, I think the place that you come from, your intent, like what the intent of your heart behind your message, that's a really important thing as part of your lighthouse. Hey, this is where I'm coming from. This is why I did it. I actually, like, for you, it's contribution. I really want to help. If you can shine that out, that's a really clear message. You know, for Paige, I feel like it's this, I just really get a strong freedom vibe. Like this book is here to give people freedom. I want them to feel free. I don't want them to feel trapped in some place or some relationship or some religion or some set of something that's not them. The more we can be us, the more we can broadcast that. And with Uranus into Gemini, it happened on the 7th of July. We're going to have it for 7 years. Yes, there's a retrograde, but Uranus in Gemini, we've just had, since 2018, we've had this period, Uranus in Taurus, all about embodiment of our value, right? Our value, our values, living our values, but also our self-value. Now it's Uranus in Gemini. It's about broadcasting that value. And with the Saturn in Aries, the Neptune in Aries, that is asking us to define our identity. Part of our identity is based on who we are, right? So if you've been, last intensive, I was coming through very strong with all the astrology stuff. Like I'm defining myself now as an astrologer, and I'm getting to a place where I used to be like, oh, I think... but what if I say astrology to the corporate leadership coach who has no fucking idea what I'm talking about? Now I don't care. Okay. Because I am a book publisher, I am a book writing coach, and I am an astrologer. And the other one that's landing for me now is I am actually a lawyer as well. You'll see my name on the roll of solicitors in the Supreme Court of Queensland. Like that is actually me. I'm also a fisherman. I'm also a farmer. Like it's like all these things. And you can't tell me I'm not, because I am, because it's embodied, right? If you tell me I'm something else, I'll just, you're looking at that guy, like you're looking at someone behind me. That's not me. And so I think this is part of what you're all doing with your books is you are defining yourselves as authors. You're defining yourselves as people of impact, as people of transformation. And this is a great thing. It's totally in line with divine evolution. Wow. Okay. That was a bit of a rant. Any final thoughts, Carmel? All right, cool. All right. Feels like a good place to end. I haven't got the but Davina hasn't bumped me off stage yet, unless there's a private message there. No. I get really passionate about this stuff. I really do. Because I want to see everyone win. I want you guys to make the impact that you want to make, because then you go to sleep at night fulfilled. I want you to make the money that you want to make so you can live a great life. And so when I put the call out and say, hey, community party in Niseko, Japan on the 1st of February for a week, we're going to go ski powder. The people that like the powder can go, yes. And Jeannie goes, no, but if it was Fiji, I'll see you there, right? Like, that's the world I want to live in, where I can put the call out and everyone is so abundant. They're like, yeah, no worries. I'll drop $8,000 on a trip to go hang out with my mates. And yes, I have the freedom and flexibility to do that. But even if you don't, and even if that's, even if that's not what appeals to you, it's that, hey, I feel like I'm part of something and I'm doing good and I'm taking action and I'm happy with myself because I'm doing the scary stuff, but I'm feeling good about it. And I've got the community, I've got the support to do that. All right, that's enough from me. I think I need to have a steak. Thank you all. Much love. Take care. We'll see you next week. Or see you Friday if you're coming, Thursday night. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.